The following review is intended for entertainment purposes and targeted for adult fans of the series.
By the way, did we play tennis in our boxing shorts on boxing shorts? Hello there, heroes. I'm the Orange Ranger, and welcome to another Power Rangers Beast Morphers 2.0 episode review. Yes, the Pumpkin Ranger may become the Pumpkin Pie Ranger within a couple of weeks, but for now, as you can see, things are back to normal. I believe this review is coming out closer to my regular, for lack of a better term, schedule. But just in case it isn't, I do want to offer an explanation anyway. As I'm sure anyone anywhere is aware of by this point, the United States elected a new president over the last week, and over this past weekend, we finally got to see the numbers that reflect that. When it was announced on Saturday that the media projections were officially showing that the Democratic challenger, Joe Biden, had defeated the Republican incumbent, Donald Trump, I began celebrating in a way that made my soul sister Ranger Liz proud, and to describe in more detail would likely involve a very mild YouTube content warning that you're not used to seeing from my channel. What that means is that I didn't watch this episode at all on Saturday, and then on Sunday, I watched my Miami Dolphins defeat the Arizona Cardinals in an NFL game that took up most of my evening. So now I think back to how it was 10:35 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday night when I started to write this review, heave a little bit of a sigh, and then let Fozzie and Kermit sing it.
Moving right along,
You might remember that last week I mentioned that for the writers of a kids' action television show, the writers of Power Rangers Beast Morphers are incredibly talented at writing very real and believable romance. And that boded well for this episode, which is about Ravi and Roxy. Let's see just how believable it was by taking a look at the 15th episode of Beast Morphers 2.0, Goin Ape!
Please make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can see all of our videos.
Yeah, and make sure you got your notifications set up by hitting that little bell icon so you get notified of whenever we post any brand new videos.
Right you. What he said was that if you'd like to support the channel in any way financially, you can consider checking us out on Patreon or Ko-fi at Orange Ranger Videos.
Right you.
We begin with Ravi impatiently waiting for a cab when an old woman asks to sit down beside him. Her nosiness really serves as our surrogate to set up the episode, as she goes into his art portfolio without even asking him, finding a painting of him and Roxy. He tells her that it is an anniversary gift for Roxy. His cab arrives, and since he's running late, he impatiently runs off, forgetting the portfolio. However, his name and phone number are on the case, and let's talk about phone numbers. Now lately, it seems like whenever Power Rangers gives us location information about a city, it includes some kind of detail that is specifically and intentionally unreal or wrong, so we can't exactly pin down where it's supposed to be. On Power Rangers Samurai, Panorama City had the state code PR, which would apparently mean that it was in Puerto Rico, when I think we all assume that it's somewhere in California. And on Ninja Steel, Summer Cove had a 6-digit zip code. But here, Robbie's phone number has the area code 408, which is very real. And funny enough, they had every opportunity to go with the unreal information again. The area code is not separated from the phone number, so this just could have been a 12 or 13 number string of numbers. But it wasn't. The area code 408 is real. The area code 408 is in the state of California. And the fact that Coral Harbor is called, well, Coral Harbor means that it's near the water. That narrows it down so far, believe it or not, that there's only 2 places that it could actually be. Seriously, a new area code in that part of California took out a middle chunk of the available waterfront in the 408 area code. So there are only 2 towns or cities that Coral Harbor could be near or more likely substituting for. Sunnyvale, or Milpitas?
Get on with it!
Come on, MPG. You know that's the kind of super specific hidden information that I live for. By the way, did we play tennis in our boxer shorts on Saturday, or is my memory playing tricks on me again? Anyway, the two of them have apparently picked the super romantic setting of Riptide Gym for their anniversary date. Okay, by this point, I've come to accept the whole one set thing, as cheap as it makes your production look. But seriously, just isolate the shot in a corner, do a little bit of set redressing, and try to pretend that this is a nice romantic restaurant? Roxy has gone the whole 9 yards, enlisting Ben and Betty in an actually good appearance to do a tablecloth and a candle and rose petals and etc, etc, etc. Roxy presents her gift to Ravi, an engraved bracelet that says R&R. These two are such a relaxing ship. And Ravi and Roxy Forever on the back, and of course, it's blue. Roxy asks for her gift, and Ravi explains that he had it in his portfolio, but he was in a rush and he forgot it when he went to get the taxi, but he's texting with the woman now that's going to get it back to him.
Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong.
How could we manufacture drama with a story like that? No, he keeps that completely secret for some reason, at first saying that he doesn't have a gift for her. When he realizes how bad that looks, he quickly amends it to he doesn't have it right now, but he'll have it soon, which raises him from looking like a totally forgetful jerk to a partially forgetful jerk, like he just now ordered it on Amazon. Ravi goes to get them some smoothies, and his phone starts buzzing off the hook with text. Roxy is deeply respectful of Ravi's privacy, so of course she goes directly into the phone, seeing a woman named Stacy texting him that a painting is beautiful, and saying he sure knows how to make a woman feel special. He comes back to the table, and she basically accuses him of cheating on her. He starts to explain, but then says, "No, you know what? You should trust me," and he storms off. I am ever so slightly on his side here, since she had to go into his phone to find all of this out. But really, both of them are being total idiots, and this is the most manufactured drama possible. Meanwhile, in the nameless dimension, Evox is whining that all the Rangers do is win, and all he has to help him are 3 useless robots. Roxy goes, excuse me, I have super duper flower powers now. Evox tells her to prove it by selecting 1 Ranger to destroy.
Excuse me, what?
1 Ranger? I would think that you would want all of the Rangers to be destroyed, Evox. What's your plan here? Why are you asking her to just single out 1 Ranger to be destroyed? I mean, is it a plan to slowly reduce their numbers? Ooh, maybe you're gonna go after Devin and it's the whole kill the snake by cutting off the head thing. Though I'm sorry if you don't like that imagery, Evox. No, of course not. It's more manufactured drama. If Roxy is going to choose 1 Ranger to destroy, of course it's going to be Ravi. Ravi was headed to the beach to kick rocks and reflect and stuff when Smash catches up checking on him. He says he's all right and asks if Smash thinks if he's trustworthy, which, I mean, duh. Then Robo Roxy teleports in, all by herself, by the way, and Ravi goes, "Not another Roxy." Ravi does the badass one-liner thing, which was very impressive to all 0 of the Rangers that are standing next to him, and he morphs. And holy Zordon in his shiny glass tube, Ravi gets a solo morphing sequence. This must have been an editing error. I mean, Ravi is clearly not a Red Ranger, so obviously this was a mistake, but I guess we can enjoy the results of that mistake. A funny thing about my reviews that this episode helped me to realize is that I'll spend 2 or 3 solid minutes talking about an area code and where that means a town is located. Then the episode gives us a nice, good 3 or 4 minute fight scene, and I go... Flower Girl and Little Boy Blue have a very nice fight scene, basically evenly matched. Ravi goes Beast X mode, but Roxy's actually able to blast him right back out of it. Zoe shows up to help, pulling Ravi up onto a cliffside. But hey, here's a callback. Ravi overheats, attacking the other Rangers. Devin goes Beast X mode, or maybe already was in Beast X mode, I kind of lost track there, and suddenly Roxy doesn't really care who she destroys. The others try to get Ravi under control, which to me would be as easy as having Nate call Grid Battle Force and asking them to teleport him a fire extinguisher. Zoe calls for Jax to bring the Chopper Zord and sets her own complex plan into motion. Now this is a tricky plan. I was a little surprised she pulled it off, so see if you follow this here. Step 1 of the plan was wrapping up Ravi in a really tight bear hug. Step 2 was having the footage instantly teleport them a good 50 yards to the west, up on top of a high cliff overlooking the ocean, so she can dunk the two of them in. As if that wasn't silly enough, Smash and Jax are both dramatically concerned about Zoe and Ravi, who are two morphed Power Rangers who are just in the ocean. But Jax pulls the two up with a cord from the Zord, a Zord cord if you will, and takes them back to the base. This frees up Nate and Steel to help Devin with Roxy, and Roxy was really only in the mood to fight one Ranger, so she teleports away. Back in the lab, Nate realizes there's an unusual problem. Despite having been dunked in the ocean and not being in battle right now, Ravi is still overheating. He's not cooling off like he normally does. Gee, I wonder if the problem is that he's still mad at Roxy. Speaking of, Smash brings her into the lab. He kind of lied to her, telling her that Ravi was ready to explain, but he really just wanted to get the two of them talking. Ravi is upset that Roxy doesn't trust him, which to be honest is kind of legit despite how things might look. Roxy is upset that Ravi is keeping secrets from her, which to be honest is not legit. When will characters in a romantic anniversary episode put together that sometimes surprises require little white lies and omissions? He storms off and she explains the situation to the other Rangers, who say that that doesn't sound like Ravi. Funny how you hear that once in every single episode like this, but nobody ever decides to think logically about it. When you're writing 30-minute television, coincidental timing is your best friend, so just after Ravi storms out, the old woman comes in. They establish her name in a really clunky way. Devin says, "Thank you so much, ma'am," and she goes all, "Oh, don't call me ma'am. Ma'am makes me feel old. My name is Stacy." You don't say. Roxy now puts together what's going on, feeling all the worse when she gets a look at the painting. Nate says, "Hey, wait a second. If you two fought before Ravi overheated, that means that he could still be fired up because he's still angry at you." Zoe even says, "That makes a lot of sense."
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
All right, time for Orange Ranger to describe another one of his pet peeves with Power Rangers, mixing up metaphor and actual science. Ravi's bug is that when his physical temperature increases too much, he loses control. He overheats. When you get into an argument with someone and you get angry, it can be said that you're getting heated, that you got hot. Metaphorically. Anger and heat are conflated metaphorically as are calm and cool. But you can be very, very angry and absolutely freezing, or totally calm and feeling the heat of a summer day. So no, Nate and Zoe, Ravi being angry leading to physical overheating does not, in fact, make sense.
You lose! Good day, sir!
Back in the Nameless Dimension, Blaze mocks Roxy for not destroying any of the Rangers, and Evox agrees. Roxy whines that it wasn't a fair fight because the other Rangers showed up, despite her not doing anything to isolate Ravi from the other Rangers. Evox agrees with this for some reason. He must think Roxy is as hot as I do, I don't know, and sends Blaze with her to finish the job this time. Ravi is storming around a forest that is shown to have other people in it, and this brought me back to the fact that in this state, Ravi is insanely strong, has zero self-control, and has access to a morpher. He is ridiculously dangerous in this state and should not have been allowed to leave Grid Battle Force. The two Robos show up, and Roxy sends Blaze away to make sure no one else shows up. Sure was useful for him to come along. The two of them both morph and throw down. The other Rangers ask Commander Shaw if she's located Ravi yet. Maybe, she says, there's a report of an attack at the nature park.
Excuse me, the f did you just say?
I'm sorry. Ravi is morphed. He activated his morpher. You're telling me that those fancy banks of computers can't pinpoint one of the Rangers when they are morphed and in battle? You can't make me believe that these systems don't receive a whole set of information the moment a Ranger activates their morpher. Ravi should light up like a big blue star on a Christmas tree when he morphs. So the other Rangers head to the forest, find the two, and morph. Nate and Steele morph at the wrist again. I had a comment on last week's video suggesting that when this happens, the two of them are actually putting their keys directly into the wrist comm, instigating some kind of instamorph process in the show's meta that is faster and better for a more quickly dangerous situation. That is an interesting fan theory. That is also all that is. Like I said just last week, I just need one line. We're able to use BeastX morphers when the situation calls for it. All I need. Otherwise, Nate and Steele have their own morphers.
I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Blaze calls Tronics to stop them, and they all fight while Robbie and Roxy fight, and Cruz flails around the battlefield for some reason until Devin summons him for Beast X mode. Blaze dodges an attack and says, "Let's play, game freak!"
I wonder what Pokemon it is.
Devin does his finishing move and takes Blaze out. I know I've mentioned it before, but the Robos are far too expendable this season. Robbie and Roxy make their way over to a small suspension bridge where Roxy takes control of the fight. Zoe calls out to Robbie, but Robbie takes a shot at her, Nate diving in to save her. Roxy attacks while Robbie's back is turned and knocks the two of them through the bridge into the river below. She crawls out of the river, desperate to find Robbie, but then he flies down using the spin sword, which to be honest is a creative use of that weapon, and destroys her.
That was easy.
Number one.
Proof, if proof was still needed, that destroy the Rangers or else is totally meaningless because failing to destroy the Rangers has about a 99% mortality rate.
Number two.
It's kind of screwed up that by the next episode, Blaze and Roxy will just be recreated again. These robots have distinct memories of their fiery, explosive deaths. Over. And over. And over. The other Rangers catch up, disarm Ravi of the spin sword, and use the power of narrative convenience to drag him back to Grid Battle Force. Ben and Betty see them dragging him inside and go to get something to cool him off. Oh good, Ben and Betty want to be helpful. Roxy is waiting in the lab, which seems to be unplanned as the others tell her that it's dangerous. Guess who did that whole take with a cramping toe? She apologizes, telling him that she's met Stacy and seen the painting, and she loves it. And him, right? This is written perfectly to go right into that. I love this painting, and I love you, Robbie. Nope, she says that he means a lot to her. She puts the bracelet back on Robbie's wrist, and the episode acts like that somehow cures him of the overheating, and the two hug it out. Yes, not even a kiss, of course. If we didn't get I love you, we're not getting a kiss. Then Ben and Betty bust in with a Gatorade cooler full of ice water to throw on Robbie, and we don't even get to see how that ends as they freeze frame it. Let's get this over with and throw some shades. Episode 15. Goin Ape. Pros, Roxy is really attractive. Robo Roxy is equally attractive in a different way. Don't have a third. Cons, classic just explain weak premise. Nothing happens to move the plot forward, and confusing emotion and science. I was prepared to give this episode a 2, but if my only pro is the attractiveness of one of the actresses, I'm sorry. Goin Ape gets 1 shade out of 5. I debated the score of this episode a lot more than I usually do, especially for a bad episode. Like I said, at first I was going to give it a 2, but then I realized I only had really 1 pro for the episode, so I bumped it down to a 1. I almost bumped it back up to a 1.5, but I felt the need to hold firm here because I hate this story. And I'm talking in a general sense because we saw this episode during Ninja Steel and now we're seeing it again. This is not how human beings communicate, at least not ones in as healthy relationships as we would hope a Power Ranger and a former Power Ranger candidate would be in. All Ravi had to do was explain why he didn't have the gift. These things happen. All Roxy had to do was ask Ravi a little bit more calmly about what was going on with this girl on the phone. And when you consider the fact that the plot didn't move an inch here, this entire episode just feels unneeded. It's not like, oh, we have the Sentai footage of the Blue Ranger in the woods all upset, and then he stumbles on a new Zord or something. This episode had no reason to exist. I'm worried, heroes. I'm seriously concerned. Going into the Chaku 2-parter, I said that Beast Morphers was going downhill. Then we got 5 really strong episodes in a row that had less to do with Beast Morphers itself. Now we're back to Beast Morphers' own story, and we're right back downhill. And here we are at episode 15 out of 22 with both of the clip shows already dealt with. So we've only got 5 episodes left. Are we just stalling until we get to the final arc? Let's start to find out by taking a look at the 16th episode of Beast Morphers 2.0, The Silva Switch. Following an accident, Nate and Steel accidentally swap bodies. Meanwhile, Robo Blaze and Robo Roxy enter an arms race to continue proving their usefulness to Evox. Oh, Zordon, nothing screams useless comedy episode more than a body swap story. And Robo Blaze and Robo Roxy fighting over their usefulness to Evox is doing exactly what they were doing in this episode. That's going to do it for another Power Rangers Beast Morphers 2.0 episode review. Thank you, heroes, so much as always for watching. Down in the comments below, now that this video is done, you can let me know what you thought of this episode, as well as my review of it. I don't know if I've ever gotten this angry at Beast Morphers before, so you might have some strong opinions, agreeing with me or very strongly disagreeing with me. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Either way, while you're down there, make sure you smack that thumbs up button and let me know that you enjoyed this video. Until next time, heroes, may the power protect you. The United States just elected a brand new president. I don't know who it is, though. It's probably Chris. As I'm sure anyone, anywhere is aware... When it was announced around noon on Saturday that all projections show the apples turning into cans, that info specifically... And on Ninja Steel, they're, Anyway, gosh, dang it! I hate that. So she goes directly into his phone and sees that a woman named Stacy texted... Yeah, that whole take was just exploding. Ravi goes to get them some smoothies and hit... Meanwhile, in the nameless dimension, Evox is whining about how... That's what you get when you ad-lib. Devin goes Beast X mode, or maybe already was in Beast X mode. I kind of lost track, and I need to do this take again. You're getting heated, that you're heating up, that you're getting... Don't worry about it. You can't make me believe that those morphers don't send just entire set of information. He has activated his morpher, which I think goes on that wrist, actually. Let's do it a third time. Like I said, it only had... I debated the score of the episode